morning. Hello, everybody. Good morning, Linda. Hey, Susan and John. Welcome. Happy Monday. Good morning. If you're tuning in, we'll start in a couple minutes, but you'll want some sort of cushion or ottoman or chair or piece of furniture or something a couple of feet tall to support your practice this morning. Blocks are fine, and we'll use those two blocks, rolled up blankets, but also if you have something a little taller than that, that will be useful. And I'm happy to be here. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Let me know if you're here. Give me a little hello, little wave, little thumbs up. Good morning. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Hi, Jane. Hello, Marla. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. All right. It is Monday, January 25th, 2021. Hi, Mary Beth. Hello. So good to be here with everybody. My name's Annie Moyer. This is Sun and Moon Yoga's YouTube channel, and this is my co-teacher Prince here on his cushion by the fire. Hola, my dear friend Alex. Hello. In the book called Unbroken, the wonderful author Lauren Hillenbrand tells the story of survival and redemption of Louis Zamperini, who was an Olympic distance runner and an Army Air Corpsman who was shot down in his bomber over the Pacific during World War II in 1943. And he and one of his crewmates floated for 47 days on a life raft before they were then not exactly rescued, but taken to a Japanese prisoner of war camp. And I'm not giving anything away to say that he survives to tell his story through Lauren's very capable journalism and beautiful writing craft. So one of the moments in this story that is quite compelling and beautiful is when somewhere during the course of those 47 days, Louis and his crewmate find themselves floating in the part of the waters where the Pacific Ocean meets the Atlantic Ocean at the equator, and it's known as the Doldrums. And we understand that word the way it's commonly used today to be a sort of a period of depression or lack of energy, a sort of a resigned state of lethargy. Being in the doldrums feels like a bad thing, the way we speak of it. However, in this moment, in this story, being in the doldrums meant that there was an absolute peace on the water. No waves, no sharks, no noise overhead and not much activity below, no wind. They were simply floating in this holding pattern that after what they had fought previously and what they would encounter next was a moment of entirely peaceful existence. And it's in this moment where Louis feels the presence of God. And he makes a promise in that moment that if he is to survive, then he will do everything in his power to live a life of goodness and decency and service and faith and love. He has a long way around before he comes back to that moment in his mind and allows it to guide his life forward. Many battles, many demons that he fights after he's rescued. But it is that moment that ends up being his touchstone for redemption. And so being in the doldrums for him meant being in a place of total clarity and absolute luminous presence of divinity. So here we are in late January. The activity of the fall is past. The election is over. The inauguration was successful. We're waiting for our vaccines. Spring is probably a good 2 months away. If there's any moment in time that we might characterize as the doldrums, it could be right now. And yet, can we channel that moment that Louis experienced and appreciate these quiet, peaceful weeks as opportunities to let some light shine in from a place that is maybe unseen and untouchable, but fully capable of being felt in our hearts? Can we celebrate the quiet? Can we have small appreciation for experiences of beauty on a gray winter's morning, or perhaps in the snow that we may get at the end of the week, in the quiet flame of a gas fireplace? Because on one hand, we may be, and rightfully so, hoping that we never have to live through a winter like this one again. And also, we could take the perspective that we may never get to live through a winter like this one again. And so what can we do to make it feel okay, to light some small spark that will guide our way forward once we come out on the other end of all of this and whatever this is for you? Some of us have greater means than others. Some of us have much more opportunity to be at ease right now than others. I know that there are deep, dark struggles going on at this moment, and we may feel like we're hanging on for life on a raft in the middle of dark, deep, scary waters. And yet there can be these glimmers of hope ahead of us. May it be so. Let's come to the mat, and we'll start in a supported child's pose. And what that might look like for you is lots of cushioning behind your knees or underneath your knees, and something under your head. So today I'm going to use this little cube, this little ottoman, which is soft but sturdy. You can use anything you like, the seat of a sofa or the corner of your bed, anything that's handy and easily accessible to support your forehead as you bow down. What to do with your arms and your hands? Lots of choices. You can cross the forearms on the support that's beneath your forehead. You can palm the ground or your mat with fingers spread wide and elbows hugged in. You could have your hands behind your back and just let your shoulders fall off the upper back. Let the belly fall into the thighs. Let the spine round and the sitting bones sink. Whatever you choose to do with your arms, choose in favor of ease and support and an arrangement that allows your breath to be front and center as you follow the pace of life force as it arrives inside of you and as it departs to connect you to what's around you. Breathing in and breathing out. Let the heavy presence of yourself meet what might feel like the heavy presence of this moment. And in the midst of that heavy presence, is there a light? Is there, in both senses of the term, is there a luminous glow? And is there a sense of weightlessness inside? A springy inner step, even as the heavy weight of winter cloaks you. And then gently, gently, wherever your hands are at the moment, place them on the ground in front of or to the sides of your knees. Round your spine, tuck your chin, and let your head now hang freely off of your neck. Put a big rounded rainbow in the back torso. And then slowly, slowly, saving the head for last, roll the spine upright. Let your head rest with ease, centered above your neck. And then lift your shoulders, roll them back and sink them down. And lift your shoulders and roll them back and sink them down. And you'll notice I'm wearing a warm, cozy wool gray sweater because right now that feels really good to me. And so you don't need special yoga clothes, P.S. The weather this morning feels like a cozy gray sweater that's resting on my shoulders. So I'm meeting that moment with what I pulled out of the closet, and it feels good. So find ways to feel good, however small and inconsequential they may seem. So we're just rolling shoulders now, making circles around the joints. And now I'm going to let one arm and shoulder rest, and I'm going to enliven the other one and start to bend the elbow and let the hand just follow the track of the shoulder circles. And then the arm is going to get brighter and brighter and straighter until it starts to feel like a big, eager backstroke, all the way extended out through the fingers. And then as the backstroke takes the back half of the circuit, I'll add a little twist in the upper body. So I'm turning the chest and the upper ribs, and then maybe I add the turn of the lower ribs. And a turn of the head. Breathing as you move, circling the arm as you breathe. And then I'll let that arm rest, and I'll start the other side. So shifting the shoulder up and back and down and forward and up and back and down and forward. And then I brighten up the arm and I let it join the party. And I'm circling. Letting the arm get a little bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger. And I turn it into an eager backstroke. And I add a little bit of a twist in the upper half of the torso. breathing in, breathing out. Okay, and then 1 or 2 more circuits. Whenever it feels satisfactory, let the arm rest by your side. And then coming up into a table pose with your elbows on whatever support you've built for yourself, whatever structure is allowing you to feel a sense of easy space here on your knees. So it's an elbow table pose. If blocks are what you have here, that works. Elbows on the blocks. And now stretch one leg back and hook the mat with the pads of your toes. And press through the heel so you get a nice feeling of length on the back of the calf. And then pivot the foot so you slice the floor with the inner edge of the foot and lift off of one elbow, raise the shoulder, open the chest, and then extend the arm overhead, reaching to the side. And then do some backstroking here. And you can turn the chest to the floor as the arm comes down, and then spin it up toward the sky as the arm goes back around. And if it's more comfortable to do this with your elbows soft and bent, that works. Slow and steady. And then release. And then turn back to 2 elbows. And now tuck your toes and lift your knees and your hips as if you're coming to downward facing dog. And then here's this support underneath you. Maybe you can catch your forehead onto it. And stretch back through the spine all the way through sitting bones that are tipping gently up toward the ceiling. Steady breath. Complete the next course of in and out. And then bring your knees back down. And you can switch sides. I'm going to spin around so I can still face you. So elbows are on the support. Stretch the other leg back. Press through the heel. Lengthen back through the calf. And then pivot the toes so the inner edge of the foot slices into the floor. Let go of the one elbow. Open up to the open space by your side. And then extend your arm overhead. And now begin to backstroke. You can do it with a straight arm or a soft elbow. You can do it in a sweater or a t-shirt or a tank top or a blouse. I'm wearing all 4 items. Long and steady breath. Eager reach through the fingers, whether the elbow is bent or straight. All right, and then turn back to the support, 2 elbows on something. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, lift your hips. Hang your head, and perhaps you are arranged so that your forehead can hook onto the support. And breathing. And breathing and breathing. And then lift up the heels and bring the knees back down, and then perhaps perhaps again rest in what feels like a supported pose of the child, with your arms anywhere you like. And now again, put that rainbow shape in the back body. Scoop the sitting bones underneath you. Slide back a little so your head comes off of the support and hang your head off of your neck. Puffing up the back, torso, and then slowly roll your way upright. Face the long edge of your mat and then come up onto your knees and stretch one leg out opposite the support. Turn the toes up and point them out to the side. And now lean toward that extended leg for a simple gate pose. The arm can be out or up or over. And then soft arm and release it. Pick up your toes. Keep turning towards your straight leg, and you can swing your back shin behind you and then bow down over that straight leg. And now slide the knee forward, land the foot on the mat, come into a low lunge, and then lift the chest, lift the heart. Spread your arms wide and look up. And then release back down over the lunging thigh. And now undo. So slide the hips back. Spin the back shin behind you as you crawl around to face the long edge of the mat again. Rise up, flex your sideways foot, turn the toes forward, gather the knee in, and then other side. Straighten the leg out. Point the toes. Slide down the straight leg, roll the other shoulder back, and extend the arms somewhere, anywhere for gate pose on the other side. And then release the arm. Come upright, flex at the ankle, and then spin the back shin behind you as you turn and face the straight leg. And now slide the knee forward into the lunge and bring the torso upright. Arms out wide, heart lifted high. Look up. Collect the next inhale and let it send nourishment through your entire physical form. And then release the next exhale. And then release. Fold forward over the lunging thigh. And then slide your hips back. And walk around to face the long side of your mat. Spin the back shin behind you, gather up. And then sit back onto something, whether it's your heels or a cushion or 5 cushions, something to support a simple upright seat. Hands on your thighs, heart high, shoulders back. And breathe. The next invitation has to do with a bit of a supported back bend. So I am taking this cube and putting it right in the middle of my mat. It's on the blankets. You don't need the blankets underneath, whatever you have. So if you're working on with the edge of a piece of furniture like the seat of a sofa or the bed, then you're just going to sit on the bed or on the seat with your back turned. You're sitting on it backwards. And I'm going to take a stack of blocks, and you can use cushions or a bunch of rolled up blankets or several pillows. You just want to build up the floor to about half the height of the seat. So whatever surface you're using, you want to build up the floor to half of its height. And then sit backwards. So if you're on a bed, you can just have your legs up on the bed. If you're on a sofa, you can have your legs all the way up onto like the back. If it's a chair, maybe that you're using, you can straddle the seat of the chair depending on groin flexibility. So whatever it is, take a quick look, and then you can build something up that will suit you. We are going to lie back, and the goal is that your head gets caught by the support you built up. I have to move this a little further back. Arms out wide. So wherever your legs are, if they're up on something, that works. And if you're on a cube or an ottoman like I am, and you have your feet down on the floor, that works too. To know whether it's working is to check in with your lower back and make sure that it feels clear and uncompressed, unconstrained, unencumbered. You want the whole rib cage to be hanging off the back of the support. Everything hangs off from the bottom ribs to the shoulders. And then the head is receiving the support. Take a long, steady inhale. And if that long, steady inhale feels unavailable, that's a sign to change something, to add in more support, to lower the intensity volume just enough so that a steady breath can be had. Let the shoulders drop back. Chest is wide open. Belly is long and spacious. The front of the pelvis open, wide. Back of the pelvis steady and supported. If your feet are on the floor, and if your lower back feels clear, you might consider straightening the knees a little more. In Sanskrit, this shape is called Viparita Dandasana, which means inverted staff pose. So taking the sort of steady, rigid structure of the staff, flipping it over and exposing it upward, turning it around. Long, steady breath that completes each cycle entirely before embarking on the next. As if the entire cosmos is inhabited by one cycle of inhale and exhale. As if a full circuit of the earth in a whole year itself is represented in the breath. And then inside of each breath, we examine our presence in this moment and feel the potential for the doldrums and also the potential for profound peace in the midst of that calm lack of everything. All right, so how do we get out of this? Well, we want to back it out the way we came in. So feet steady on something. Save your head for last if you can, and put your hands on something that allows you to dig your elbows down, to puff up the belly, puff up the chest, and slowly, save the head for last. Upright yourself. And breathe. And now let's come back down onto the floor. If you have something here that's cushiony or handy, maybe the thing that you were just hanging backwards off of, when we lie down, we can swing the shins, the calves up onto that support and come all the way onto your back. Shoulders and head on a level plane on the ground. And take a steady breath in and out. Take turns with your legs. Pull one knee in and give a little squeeze of the knee and curl the forehead towards it. And release back down. And then do the other one. Same thing. And release. And then extend your arms out to the sides. Close your eyes. Let the full weight of your body sink into the ground. Steady on the breath in and out. And then pull the knees in and hug around the legs wherever your hands comfortably land. Give yourself a squeeze. Begin to rock side to side a couple of times. And if you poke at your elbows, you can use them as kickstands to land upon on the right and the left. And then at some point, roll all the way over to the side. Bring yourself up. Sit tall with your legs crossed comfortably. Heart high, shoulders back. Palms together at your heart. I hope that you can find some peace, some glimmer of light and hope for the next few days, weeks, months, and however long we need it. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful day.